Hello and welcome to Patch. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Good. Yes, this
Good.
good. I was going to say something good, but then I forgot what I was going to say. I thought about it all day, so I'm going to say this, and then about 4 hours before the show started, I forgot what it was because I did write down,
Good
which
thing
was silly.
our show has this kind of random, who cares, we can be clumsy as shit and have no idea what's going on sort of feel because...
I'll guarantee you, I'll drive to work tomorrow. Halfway through my drive, I'll remember what I was going to say, and then just completely forget it again.
That's fair.
Like shit, and then well.
Well, it's patched updates time, and we've been discussing pre-show that neither of us actually have a huge number of games to talk about, despite the fact that it's been a pretty busy month. But kick things off, you've been playing a few games, including the DLC that we've been...
Yes. We'll keep that for later, or for my last of the games. Well, let's just say.
And actually get a start. I'm just going to grab my baby monitor so I can get a better look at it. But
or the baby monitor, just checking in the monitor. What was I going to say? Well, for the start of the month, didn't really play that many games because this thing called PAX was happening, and there were no games played except games played at PAX. And he's back. He is. He's back. So I'm not going to repeat what I said. That's just pointless because everyone said on who's listening, just go. We know you told us. You don't have to tell Paul twice.
I'll catch up. I'll work it out.
It was just no. I'm not going to tell you. Forget about it. All I said, no, forget it. So we'll just move into the games.
My
brain's just saying tell him, and I'm thinking no, don't tell him because no point telling. Yeah, tell you, great,
Somebody
fine.
Please think of the listeners.
Don't worry about the host. He doesn't need to know.
No, I don't need to know.
Ignore this. But we'll start off with this game. And if Jamie's mowing his lawn, can I please get him to just stop for a second? Because he might hear this and get shocked and might, fall off the mower, and that's not a great idea. And I said this, at PAX, we were having lunch, and I said a game, and you turned around and went, what? And if he had his beer, which he did have because we were waiting for that with our burger, he would have been shocked. And that was Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, yeah, right, sorry. For a split second, I thought we were going to start talking Octopath or Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, no. I mean, if it was... Come on. If it was Tears of the Kingdom...
I forgot about Xenoblade, though.
I mean, Octopath Traveler would have been an absolute curveball if that was the case. I would have been shocked with myself if I started playing that. I've got Octopath Traveler on my Switch. I played it for like 4 hours and then went, no. I just couldn't do it. I tried. So I went with Xenoblade Chronicles, which I think is declared a JRPG.
Yeah.
A big genre that I really get into. Very little, I should say. So I got started on that. Started 2 hours. I've done 2 hours so far. And I remember why I don't really play JRPGs that much, because it's just, one, weird, as always.
Always.
And secondly, and it's just, I reckon, I could be wrong on this, but I reckon the first 45 minutes of that game was just cutscenes, which I don't have a problem with. It's just, I want to play some gameplay. And it just goes into this big battle scene, and like, oh, I want to do something, and then it just goes to more cutscenes. Like, I just want to beat someone up.
That's fair.
Which we eventually get to, then it's just a big tutorial, as all games are, but it was a good tutorial. I'm not going to be angry about that. But I will say, music, great.
Right on point. Yeah, they nailed
great
that.
Music. I cannot doubt the music. I think I could just sit there, go to sleep, not play the game, and just listen to the music. It's great. I was just listening to it going, this is good music. I don't usually say that a lot, unless it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, then I'll say that's brilliant music.
Licensed, so it's a totally different thing.
But it was great music, and there is one thing I always scratch my head at with cutscenes. When you battle, there's four people, and then in cutscenes or when someone's talking, there's some stupid green blob thing there that I don't know what it does. It's just there, and I'll be scratching my head going, where do you come from? Is this, where are you this whole time? I'm in a big battle. Where are you? Nowhere to be seen. Hiding somewhere. Don't know where.
Wait, which Xenoblade was it? Sorry, the first one?
3.
Or 3.
3.
Jumped at 3. Yeah, so I've got nothing to provide when it comes to that one. I've played most of the first, and that's about it. So,
Well, there's this green blob thing, and I don't know what it does. It just appears in cutscenes and nothing else.
fair.
I don't know what its purpose is in the game. Not in life. Maybe it's in the game. But so far, I am enjoying it. So that's a good start. Was roaming around
Could
doing
you
nothing
see
as I do.
yourself possibly having a crack at the others if this goes really well? I mean,
If
like
it goes
three
well,
of the 4 games are all on Switch. The one that isn't is kind of the spin-off anyway, which is still
what's the
stranded on
fourth?
the
Oh,
Wii U. So,
oh. Well, if the third one goes great, I'll go purchase 1 and 2, the old bundle on the Switch store.
that's pretty cool.
But the question is, will I ever get to it? Because there are so many goddamn games coming out, especially this period.
It's not quietening down.
Ridiculous.
Well, we're getting close. We're
And-
getting close to things really quietening down.
And then it's on to another game that came out this month. Well, technically it came out this month. It was Mario Party 3. I played that for 45 minutes, and I forgot how painful it is playing that game on your own. I know there's a single player element to it. No crank and stick, which I was glad about, because I was using my Pro controller, not the 64 controller, because I know that is just a deal of pain. And also, Nintendo's not forking out $80 million for gloves for 1 million children because I am 35 years old. So they're not going to give me a glove. They'll just tell me to buy my own bloody glove. Maybe I should message him and say, do you have any power gloves? I could use one of them. Thanks. Because that went well for
Give
him.
it a crack for Nintendo.
Give it a crack. But I just forgot how you just played the board game one and it's just me against computers. And it's not very fun. I won, which is stupid because I won no stars whatsoever through the entire board game experience. And I just won all the prizes at the end. So I said, suck on that, you idiots. Winner. The Stephen Bradbury of Mario Party. Right there.
I mean, that's the blessing and curse of Mario Party, right?
I think so. I thought 3 was already out, but it wasn't because what I found out later on was there is Mario Party there, and underneath the Mario Party there is a 3, which is the little bloody stupid dice thing. But it has a 3 on it, so I thought that was always Mario Party 3. It's not. I found out. I was like, hang on, isn't Mario Party 3 already out? It wasn't. And it confused the hell out of me for months because everyone's talking about, oh, Mario Party 3 is coming out this Friday. I thought, but it's already out on the Nintendo Switch Online.
To be fair, I had podcasts for the week saying, oh, that's the one with cowboys and stuff. And in my head, I'm going, wait, isn't that Mario Party 2? And it is. It's Mario Party 2. So,
even I know that.
Like 3 was, I think, like I played 1 and 2, loved
remember.
those, missed 3, came to 4 on the GameCube, missed 5, missed 6, played 7, and then God knows after that, it's all kind of fallen in a bit of a hole since.
I think I only played 1. I reckon I played 1 and 2 and then just forgot about the rest. Just never went back to it. But never mind. Will I go back to it? Probably not. But it doesn't matter. Probably because there's no sensitivity on those controls, so I'm just doing things and thinking, yelling at myself saying that's bullshit, but it's really not. It's really not. It's just we're so used to sensitivity these days on joysticks, keyboards, mouses, and whatever. Go back then, you had one sensitivity setting.
It was all
no one complained. No one complained, unless the other person was just really good at it. Then you just punch them in the arm. They stopped that.
You knew it wasn't the technology failing you. It wasn't how you were using it. It's just that.
Well, it's always just your friend giving you the dodgy controller. Either one, you can still beat them up with them. And then we go on to another one. I only played 2 hours of this one because I did buy it on PC. It didn't work because my GPU is not good enough, unfortunately.
All right.
So I got a refund. And I thought I'm going to buy it on Xbox instead because everyone's been talking about it, how great it is. It's the best game of 2023. If you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, that is the man himself stuck in a pond. No, he's not stuck in a pond. He's stuck in Lake Cauldron, going by the last story. It's Mr. Wake. Alan Wake 2. And I only played 2 hours of it. Only 2. And you know what? I'm in already. I'm calling it.
You like
the best game of 2023.
The bare ass to begin the game?
Oh yeah, I was just trying to think. This is not old.
Who it is or anything for anyone, but you get to see a bare ass to begin.
But even that, I'll scratch my head because, like I said, it's been 13 years between games, and I'm scratching my head. It's really, really weird because this is not really a spoiler or anything. You're in the same place.
Yeah.
as where Alan was. And it's just really weird because you look at a place and going, hey, I remember that place. I remember that place. You're like, hey, there's the cop, there's the police station, there's the cafe, there's this tree from that episode and all this. It just looks all the same. It's so familiar. And then you just feel weird because you're going, this is really messing my head because is this deja vu? Is this another story? Is this real? It's absolutely messing with my head. And I am all for it.
Well,
I'm super excited for it.
I guess credit to Matt Houston who pulled together the review for Player 2, and I'm giving him the special shout out on this one because they sent and Remedy apologized. It wasn't, obviously, as we've all seen, the reviews are exceptional, so it wasn't because the game was no good. They sent out the codes for PC. There was like a first batch that went out, I guess what would have been like Saturday morning, like legit less than, I guess, like a week ago.
A week.
To this first wave. We weren't part of that. The next wave didn't come through until Monday evening. So I sent Matt the code Tuesday morning, and he got the thing done. Like, he put 10 hours in on that day alone.
That's impressive. I say, in this day and age, to play 10 hours of a game, sit there for 10 hours and play a video game is impressive.
Then tried to finish it the next day, hit a game-breaking bug, which the developers had already recognised and hot-fixed at that point, but they just needed to send him what needed to be required to fix it, which doesn't make it into the final build for anyone else. Got through it on the Thursday, crunched out the review in time for Thursday night. Absolute god mode from that bloke, and he's despite all of that, despite all the circumstances around it, he's talking about this being a game that actually shakes up his top 5, top 10 games of all time, which he reckons he's not had to do in 10 plus years.
I mean, that's impressive. Even like I said, play for 2 hours, like, there is a story to it, which is something very, very little developers have these days. It's just, hey, let's just fill this up with other cool shit and forget the story. All story, and you're like, oh, I remember this, I remember that, and then it just, unlike an M. Night Shyamalan movie, this is a twist. It is what a twist. It is a big twist.
Yeah, it's off to a real strong start. So we won't spoil anything for anyone because, yeah, I mean, we're both early days, so we could end up spoiling each other, but also we won't spoil the people out there because, yeah, the storytelling is top tier, and we don't want people to lose the impact of some of that stuff. You can go check out Player 2 Plays for the very beginning of the game. That is live on the YouTube channel, and of course Matt's review as well. A YouTube.
I think the other,
and there'll be more. Yeah. Matt in particular is really, really keen to have a spoiler cast at some point. So, considering the both of us are motoring through the game at the moment, maybe there's 3/3 of the spoiler cast sorted out already.
There we go. As I say, it's also another thing too. I think don't think too hard about the first one. That's what I look at, because you can think about, oh, but what this, but what that. Like, I've just given up after 2 hours because you think something's going to happen, and then just bang, something else happens. Like, oh, this is getting exciting. And if you really want to recap on it, Remedy did one, like a Alan Wake recap of the first one of what happened. Just watch that. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know the full details of what happened in Alan Wake. All you need to know, his wife went missing, he went missing. Or did he go missing? We don't know. That is the big question.
No spoilers here for anyone. Again, we'll keep it safe. Any other games?
Then we get to the big ones.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to the big ones there. That were the short ones I played because I just wanted to get onto Alan Wake because everyone was talking about it. I just wanted to get on, see, are they telling the truth or is it all a lie? It is not a lie, I can tell you. It is true. All of it is true. But we go on to the next game, the DLC. And it's my DLC of the year so far because it is the only DLC I've played this year. It is Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty.
You didn't play the Horizon DLC as an aside?
No, not yet. Okay. I never got around to it. It's like, I'll get around to it when I finish, all the other games I've got to play first. And
that's fair.
That never happened, unfortunately. But we'll get back to it one day. When?
It's good.
I don't know.
It's real good.
I know it's real good. People said it's real good. And for homophobes, it's not good, which is good for me because screw you guys.
Well, yeah.
But, yes. But I think I was always skeptical about DLC because it's either okay or rubbish. They just put half an effort into it. Like, oh yeah, they'll buy it anyway because they'll like the first game. This if you've played The Witcher 3 and their DLC is brilliant. This is also brilliant. And I never thought I'd say that. Oh, well, it is CD Projekt Red. I know they weren't going to stuff it up a second time.
You wouldn't have thought so.
Pretty much. And it just pretty much, when you start the DLC, it's just bang, full on action for 2 hours. It's just pretty much a straight up story. Can't do anything for a little bit, and then you see old buddy, old pal, Idris Elba.
Is he as good as Keanu in this?
Or it's hard to say. I think you look at the role. I think if you look at the role they gave him, oh, he fits it for sure. If you've ever seen something like, I don't know, The Suicide Squad, or try to think of another action film he's been in, because all I can think is Thor and The Office, and they're probably not the two best examples you can think of.
No, not necessarily.
I'm just trying to think of, or maybe I was not Luther. He was in that. I know he was in that TV show called Luther, but I just can't think of the top of my head, because I've seen him in The Suicide Squad, and I think, yeah, that sort of fits that. And to be honest, he nails that role.
Also, it is only now that I've just realised, despite the many, many times that I've watched The Office, it's only until you've made that comment that I've realised.
You know that.
I didn't realise it was Charles.
Yeah, I think that's well before anyone knew who he was as well, because...
Well, yeah, that checks out, but, like, I certainly know of Idris Elba these days, but it's like I've watched The Office many times since learning of that man, and...
I think it was also, too, it's just such a small role he had. It wasn't just a major role. It's just some dude coming in and trying to take over Michael Scott's job. And he tried to. He did it. And even I didn't realise that till, like, the credits rolled and I saw Idris Elba. I was like, hey, where the hell's he? And then I looked at him and, oh, there he is.
Oh, Charles.
There he is. A younger Idris Elba, I should say as well, because that's probably why I didn't recognise him, because I just see him as what he looks like today. You saw those people you don't really recognise when they're younger. You go, wow, look at him when he's like 22 years old. It's like, wow, he's such a baby-looking kid. But so far, brilliant. I would probably put it in my top 5 of game of the year, but unfortunately, it is a DLC, so it gets exempt. As much as I hate to say it, but it is really, really good. And just as always, side stories, brilliant as well. Pretty much like The Witcher. If you think about The Witcher, like their side quests, this, that, whatever, it's pretty much the same, except in first-person shooter, and it's in the future. That's pretty much how you look at it. And you're not Geralt.
No, I mean, look, that takes it down a little bit. But I think with all the stuff that's been said, I think I'm now finally ready to, like, once I can carve out the time, of course, to actually play this game. So,
but also too for me, because they've pretty much redone the skill tree controls, which I still get confused by. They've done it for the better, and also you can shoot out of a car now, which is great. Which is something you couldn't do in previous patches, I should say. They've just pretty much redone everything, and it's for the better too, which is great. It makes the game much more enjoyable. And I don't look at it and go, I kind of just forget what happened 3 years ago in December when they released a game that was
not
a bit shit.
Yeah,
like, story was there, everything else was not there, unfortunately. But you would forget that now. I've forgotten about it because I played it. I thought this is a really good game, and they just kept improving and improving it and improving it. And I don't know if you could give it a Game of the Year nominee 3 years later, or big redeemer. I don't know what you would call it.
I'll be curious to see what the likes of the Keeleys do, because based on the reception of it, like, if this was the actual launch of the game, I could totally see it coming.
Oh, it would have been in the nominations, but would it win Game of the Year? That's debatable, because unfortunately, I feel like there have been one better game than it in every year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but
well, even this year, like, for it to finally bob back up again, you go, and then all of a sudden it comes up in a year that is arguably the best year that gaming's potentially ever seen. In terms of just the string of games that are 9 out of 10 or higher, it's insane. And then you add, regardless of our thoughts of Zelda, you add Tears of the Kingdom in there that's sitting on an obscene score, and Baldur's Gate 3 that is also sitting on an obscene score.
You put Alan Wake 2 up there
But
as
Alan
well.
Wake's in
That
there
has a
now.
high score as well.
Spider-Man's in there.
And
Mario's in there. Resident Evil 4, Dead Space, like the Metroid Prime
remaster, yeah.
whatever we call it. That's in there. Like it's insane what this year's done. So, it'll be Final Fantasy 16. I'm just skimming
Oh
through
yes.
this now to. I mean, I touched on the Horizon DLC before. Octopath Traveler 2 came out. That probably doesn't
Yep.
Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
Wild Hearts, Dredge on the indie side. Sea of Stars on the indie side. Like, it's just... This year's ridiculous.
Always said it was going to be packed, and then you just look at it, all those games you just said, I completely forgot about, especially Star Wars. I played Star Wars. I enjoy Star Wars, and I completely forgot about Star Wars.
And let's not lose sight of the fact that we've got things like Super Mario RPG that comes out in a few weeks. There's Avatar that people are, getting interested, kind of in terms of how keen. Starfield we didn't mention there in the whole mix. There was Hi-Fi Rush to begin the year.
Yes.
What am I missing?
We don't have to worry about Redfall. I'm pretty sure that's not going to make the game of the year. Well, it does have 60 frames a second now, so there's a win there. So all those people complain about 60 frames a second, you've been defeated. So shut up.
Jam it. Any other games for you?
One more.
Take it
and
away.
This one I saved many dollary-doos on because I cancelled my collector's edition, and thank God I did. It is Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, everything Ubisoft said that was going to be in this game is correct. It was a shorter game, which is great. It took out all the unnecessary crap, which was great. Camels are back. Great. I've been missing the old camels from, what was it? Not Origins. Origins was the last time we saw a camel. And first thing, went into the desert. What did I see? Camel. I thought, yes, I'm so happy. Stealth. The stealth is back, and it's pretty damn good. Parkour. It's Assassin's Creed. You expect parkour to be good. However, the one big problem is Basim is incredibly boring.
That's a shame.
He's just, I don't know, he's really, I would say if you rated all the characters from all Assassin's Creed, he'd probably be down the bottom somewhere. That's how boring
with Connor,
he is.
For example.
With Connor. That's saying something as well. When you're down there with Connor, that's a bad sign. And which is weird because in Valhalla, I liked the guy. I thought, I like this guy a lot. And then we got to play him, and somehow they made him incredibly boring, and I don't know what the hell happened. It's nothing to do with the actor or anything. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those weird things you just look at and go.
Just not an interesting character.
He's just not a very interesting character. It's got nothing to do with where he's from, this or whatever. It's just, I think every other character around him as well, he seems just, I don't know if they're just bored to be there. They just don't like bad things. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Just look at it and go, I think there was one guy that died, and I just went, usually most other games I go, oh no, someone killed him, I'm going to avenge him. This guy died, I just went, oh well. I just didn't care. And the big problem is the story. It is. Oh man.
It doesn't matter.
It's
not interesting.
It's not the thing. It's like, have you played all of Valhalla?
No, not even close.
Okay, so there's a part. Okay, I'm not going to ruin. There's a bit in there what Basim does, this, that, and whatever, which is why we play as Basim in this one. And it's pretty much just like the first one, like the very first Assassin's Creed. You go around, do some searching, kill a guy, person, whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's all it is for like 18 hours. Then there's 45 minutes of exciting stuff that what should have happened at the start of the game at the end, and then the credits roll. I thought that's really annoying because that was the really good part. I would almost put the story as the worst of all Assassin's Creed. The first one.
That's pretty disappointing.
Because even with the first one, there is a story. Because with Mirage, I'll say it now, there's no animus. You don't leave it. You are just Basim for the entire game. There is no...
Which is nice, though, to avoid all that sort of shit.
But the problem is, though, you just ask the question of what's the point of this game? Because I don't even know what I'm looking for. That's the problem. but there probably is something that we're meant to be looking for. I just didn't pay attention to it because I got that bored of what the story was. Because if you go back to the first one, the main thing was Apple of Eden. That was pretty much
going
the
right.
main thing through the entire story. And also, come out of the Animus. There's a story there of what is going on. Desmond's being kidnapped.
Or modern day Templars and
modern
assassins
day.
and all that. Yeah.
So this and all Desmond was, he was just in a bar, minding his own business, and then he ends up in a room, and no one's telling him what the hell's going on. Just sit on this bad thing and shut up.
Just make it work, man.
Yes. And even, it's, I don't know, like, it's just one of those things, like, they could have done something really good with it, and they really, really dropped the ball badly.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's a shame,
because I'm now getting into it, because this is kind of more in that Assassin's Creed model that I've enjoyed the most traditionally. But
yeah, I mean, the stealth of it's great. I love the stealth part of it. It's brilliant. And then you see the greatest thing. The seats are back, so you can have a sit down and hide.
I remember all that from when I got to preview.
That was great. Pickpocketing is back.
Yep.
Which I haven't seen. I'm not sure if it's been in the other games. It's just, I don't know. I can't remember. I'm trying to figure out if it has been in the other games and just ignored it because it just never really needed to do it, because you just stab someone and just steal their stuff. Because if you go like the last 3 games, all it was is just barge in and just take over everyone.
Smash them.
It's like, I'm pretty sure the Romans weren't the sneaky kind to go around in bushes and just stab people. The Vikings, definitely not the type of that's going to sneak around and, do things nice and quiet. Of course not. But this, yes. And the old tents or whatever things on the buildings are back as well, which I thought, oh man, I haven't seen that since 1 or 2. I thought, wow, and even the little hidey little booth things, you just hide in and just whistle someone over and just stab them, bring them in. It's like all this old stuff. I thought, this is great. I thought, I haven't seen this since 1 or 2.
But did it feel old? Did those things feel old?
I wouldn't say it felt old. I just thought, I remember these.
Yeah, okay. That's right.
Because you sort of go on, I think even with it, if you go back to 1, because you're sort of in the same area as the first Assassin's Creed, so it's sort of some similarities here and there. No Templars, which is good, because, well, I don't really care. It's one of those things. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's just, they could have done something really good, and they just
pissed it away.
And I don't know if they're going to do a trilogy with this or not. If they are, they've got a lot of things to fix, if that's the case.
I don't think they have the time, because I'm pretty sure, just rumblings, nothing concrete, that Assassin's Creed Red is out next year. So,
good. So
that's the Japanese one. So I suspect they're
ninjas.
Might be one and
yes.
Done, so
sneaky ninjas.
And to be fair, they might want to, because I feel like Sucker Punch is probably starting to gear up for Ghost of Tsushima 2, and if that gets the jump on Assassin's Creed Red, then I think it might be all over for Assassin's Creed Red, because Ghost of Tsushima did everything that people have been screaming out for from Assassin's Creed for decades, and they beat him to the punch. So
that's what everyone wanted to do in an Assassin's Creed game, is chop bamboo with a sword.
Well, yeah, there's those bits, but
and sit in a hot spring. That's some good stuff.
You got to see
and write haikus. That's what everyone wants to do in a game.
It's true.
Brilliant.
So I guess that was your last game, wasn't it? So
that was my last game.
For me, I've actually got less than that. Some that I can and just can't talk about. Alan Wake, we touched on there. Like, I'm similar to yourself, only a couple of hours in, nothing really to add beyond what you've said at all. The 2 main games I've been playing this month that I can talk about are 2 games that I reviewed. So I've already had a lot to say about them. I've done review discussions about Spider-Man. I've done spoiler casts about Spider-Man. I've done shorts. I've done the written review. I've done a video. Like, I've said so much about Spider-Man already. But Marvel Spider-Man 2 was the big one for me for the month. Got the platinum on it before the game came out, which is kind of cool.
I've got to say, I can see your big 19-inch in the background.
yeah, I got.
And it's even funnier because it's right behind a sword, which doesn't even help the contents right here.
I'm going to have to see, I'm going to have to make this work. I'm going to hold my phone up to the mic once I find this clip. Ryan Betts in the Pop Culturist broke out a snippet of I don't know, I can't remember. I think it might have been the the full unboxing, not the little YouTube short version that I did.
Oh, what did you say? What did you say?
I gotta find it. He snipped out the clip and dropped it in a chat. So once I can scroll back and find it, I just don't know where it is at the moment. But either way, while I'm scrubbing for that, look, the game's amazing. Interestingly, it seems like there's been a few technical things that have come on since the day one patch, and I don't mean Spider Cube. Oh, there we go, found it.
The only reason I didn't get into playing it because they said, "Oh, we patched up the cube." I thought, "No, I don't want to play it anymore."
Well, now fans are lobbying for that to become like an official
suit.
Right.
The greatest mistake is their greatest achievement.
I'll play it back to myself to make sure it's gonna be loud enough.
Oh, it's here.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I have a bit of trouble getting the thing out of the box for a sec.
Look at my 19 inches.
The out of context,
which
right
was of course like deliberate at the time, but I completely forgot about it, and then I just pissed myself when he sent that clip over. So, go check out I whip out my 19 inches on camera for everyone. So, go check that one out on the Player 2 YouTube channel before we get demonetized and never allowed to do that ever again.
Well, 19-inch could mean anything. I was going to say 19-inch sub. That's not the right context, right? That's a big sub. Oh man,
that's a big sub. Anyway, Spider-Man's like really crazy good. But at the same time, I was also playing Mario Wonder, which
Elephant Man
also is incredible. And what I'm hearing more and more, so like all the levels felt really diverse in a way that I don't think like a 2D Mario game has been in a long, long time. And it turns out basically Nintendo, well, what I'm starting to hear is that Nintendo said there's no budget, just come at us with ideas. There's no timeline. We'll get this thing out when we get this thing out. Just come at us with your ideas and just open the floor to it. And so developers from within Nintendo have just thrown all sorts of ideas at it and then built this game in the end that is more disconnected as a result. And I think that's why the worlds are there, but even within the worlds, you can kind of go off in different directions. And kind of do, pick the levels in the sequence that you want for the most part. There's some little bottlenecks to kind of bring you back on track, but for the most part, you can kind of go off and do what you want. And I think that allows the players to not feel like, oh, there's a theme that's kind of being broken up here, because there's no theme. Like, it's just,
here's a level,
go for it. And there's some incredibly inventive ideas, especially once you get the Wonder Flower, like when you find the one that's halfway through the level and it just changes up the entire format. The one that everyone's seen in the promotions and stuff is like the one where all of a sudden the pipes kind of almost like a worm bouncing up and down. It's just like the pipes start raising and dropping while you're trying to move across them. They don't do that unless you get the actual Wonder Flower. Otherwise, it's a really kind of plain level. But once you hit that thing, just all sorts of crazy stuff happens. So it's really, really incredibly designed. It's definitely worth playing. The visual style, just like there's a lot of similarities to the new Super Mario games, but then at the same time, it does tiny little things different. That means it actually looks good and not kind of sterile and bland like the new Super Mario Brothers games. They've done everything right. On the exact same two games that will absolutely or should absolutely feature in the Game of the Year nominations conversations. Again, I don't think it'll win thanks to Zelda and Baldur's Gate being there, but both of those games should absolutely be in top 5 or top 6 or whatever it is that Jeff Keighley has at the end of the year, and they came out the exact same day. So it was all pretty incredible what they achieved, both Insomniac and Nintendo. I'm just double checking through my trophy list. There's some things that aren't pinging like they should yet because of trophy lists still being hidden. But through October, I spent a bit of time playing your beloved NBA 2K24. And yeah, they're still trying to gouge you for money. It's not great.
Of course they are. That's all they do. It's like, hey, we didn't fix the game, but here, have this limited edition, I don't know, LeBron James jersey that you can't own physically.
Yeah.
For $400.
I've actually got to check the timing. Was that?
No refunds.
Yeah, that's right. I did play it since our last updates. Our last updates was fairly early in the final week. So yeah, played a bunch of that. And look, the gameplay of it is better than it's ever been, but yeah, it's held back by all the VC and what they're trying to wring out of you there. Thanks to 2K, they gave me the big deluxe edition, so it gave me a little stash to begin with, but that very quickly disappears.
Oh yeah, always does.
It feels like a lot, and it doesn't go
not.
very far. So that was where my journey then ended, and so the review went out.
Just filled up the stats bar like, right, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
No need to play the game.
Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Di, which is basically like it's a Dragon Quest game. It's a video game adaptation of the anime that's based on the Dragon Quest game. Like it feels like the Ratchet and Clank 2016 game, the game based on the movie based on the game. We've got the game based on the anime based on the game here. So and look, I've barely dipped my toes into that because I did get sent the code. Thank you very much to Bandai Namco for it, and the review will come in due course. But it had to fall on the wayside, on the back burner, specifically because of Spider-Man and Mario. So that's, I guess, expect full thoughts from me probably on this show, but also on the Player 2 channels in the future. There's a Let's Play there if people want to see it for Player 2 players. Go check that one out. Sea of Stars, I finished the game for a second time. On PlayStation because I played on the Switch initially, and then I got my code through the Kickstarter. Went and played it again, and still love it. It's awfully tempting to go chasing the platinum, but I don't really have time for that. And other than that, today actually, as of when we record, I was playing a little bit of the original Twisted Metal, the PS1 classic via the premium deluxe tier from PlayStation Plus. For some work that I've got to do for Sandeep Rai and the Too Old for Gaming group. So the PlayStation magazine that I've been writing for, the book that I was published in early in the year. I've got to do some stuff with. I've got some stuff to do. With Twisted Metal coming up. So just went back to mess around with that one, and people can see what I'm going to do with that soon enough. It's a review, whatever. Once the Kickstarter goes live for that, I'll spruik it further for people. But yeah, that's about it. There's a few games kind of sitting on the backlog. There's things that are embargoed that I am playing and have finished, but I can't talk about in full, and I can't talk about on this show for quite some time. So that's kind of it for me. What do you see yourself playing in November? There's things are starting to slow down, but also the first 10 days, and I'll just set the stage for you in case you've not actually taken a bit of a look. The first 10 days are kind of nuts. So here's some games that are, I'm not saying they're for either one of us or both of us, but they're higher profile games. These are all the things that are coming out between the 1st and the 10th. Song of Nunu, which is a League of Legends spin-off game. It's developed by Tequila Works, good platforming team. Really good.
I'll pass on that one. Yep, that's
good.
a good start.
Star Ocean, the HD 2D remake, that's coming out on the 2nd. The Talos Principle 2 comes out on the 2nd. Thirsty Suitors comes out on the 2nd. WarioWare Move It comes out on the 3rd. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl comes out on the 7th.
Oh, wow. Get that. That is game of the year right there.
Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name comes out on the 9th.
Oh, man. Oh, gee.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 comes out on the 10th.
Oh, does that come out this week?
Yeah. No, not this week. On the 10th. So on the 10th. First 10 days. And the first week and a half is pretty insane, really. There's a few other games after that, but really that first 10 days is pretty hectic. There are things like Persona 5 Tactica that comes later in the month, but Persona's too weeby for me. Super Mario RPG comes out, as we touched on before, later in the month. But really that first 10 days is a pretty big hit for people. So beyond, I guess, inclusive of those, not inclusive of those, what do you see yourself playing over the course of this month?
Well, we got to finish off Cyberpunk. Then we finish that. We get on to Alan Wake 2. Then we finish Alan Wake 2. We get on to Spider-Man 2. And then in between that, there'll be some Xenoblade Chronicles in between.
It's on the Switch, so you can just take it on the fly and do it whenever you want. Also, that's pretty cool that you're hooked by the game.
Oh, yeah. I just want to still figure out what the hell that stupid green thing is and what its purpose in life is. I will find out. I probably won't. I'll never know.
Sure. For me, there's a chunk of those games that I'm certainly keen on. Star Ocean as a remake of a RPG that I really enjoyed. I can't say that I'm crazy about a League of Legends spin-off, despite the fact that it actually looks very good. It's just, I don't know. League of Legends as a franchise just kind of pushes me away a little bit, even though they are apparently excellent and totally standalone. Talos Principle 2, I don't think my brain is big enough to really digest and process that game the way it needs to be. So, I'll probably pass on that one. Thirsty Suitors does look really, really good. I've tried a demo of that in the past on Scene Mexfest. And Eka and the team are fantastic. So, keen to support that one. WarioWare, I don't know. Like, I'm sure it'll be fun, but also in a year that's stacked with really high quality games, I don't think I can deal with the nose picking simulator or anything like that. So,
what is it, nose picking simulator?
Well, no, but remember, like, there's. I mean, I don't know if they still do it, but like in past WarioWare games, you'd almost have the hand that was kind of just moving underneath, and then you have to press the button to go straight up the nose all the time. I'm not playing Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 unless it turns out it's really good.
He plays the Rugrats.
Well, look, the first one was fine. I didn't mind the first one actually. But yeah, I'm in no hurry anyway. Like a Dragon, I'm too far behind on all those to start now, especially with everything else that's going on. And COD. Well, I liked the 2019 Modern Warfare, but I haven't played 2022's Modern Warfare 2 yet.
That's still loaded for me.
So
it's still loaded.
And Modern Warfare 3, so I'm not going to start that until I've played the second. So one day, maybe once Modern Warfare 2's price drops, I'll jump into that, and then we'll wait for the right opportunity to pick up Modern Warfare 3. Maybe on Game Pass, considering that deal's closed. And then, like the main one, I guess, for the month really is actually Super Mario RPG. So,
yes,
keen to play that one on the 17th when it comes out. Otherwise, things start to slow down from there, and that's really exciting because just like you, there's things like my sequence of games is a little bit different, but Alan Wake is the current play. I need to then go and play Mirage. There's a whole range of other games from earlier in the year that I haven't touched Starfield yet. Infinity Strash, obviously, I touched on before. I'm going to do the review for still. I want to go and play things like that. Immortals of Avium, that is still meant to be really, really good, but RIP that studio. Basically, the game did not sell at all, and so they've gutted 60% of the studio already. And I do want to, I kind of shelved it at the time because I love the original game. Just couldn't really find the time earlier in the year. But Dead Space, I want to go play the remaster. I'm really at that point where I want to go back now, and there's things like Dead Space, there's things like Resident Evil 4 that I didn't play at the time, Metroid Prime Remastered, all those sorts of things from really early in the year that I want to go and tick off. And it's somewhere along the way, I don't know about you, but somewhere along the way I still need to give Shitty Witcher 2 a crack and see if my tone changes. Diablo 4 I want to go back and play as well. There's quite a list there, so soon enough. We'll see how it goes. Avatar comes out in December, and I really want to play that, so because it actually looks pretty damn good.
It does. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it does look like Far Cry, but let's be honest, every game looks like Far Cry. It's just shoot, throw a grenade, goes bang. That's every shooter out there.
Yeah, and I can get around it in a world
Pandora.
that's gonna look as good as Pandora. So, all right, we'll wrap things up then. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out all the YouTube content. I've rattled off a whole bunch of stuff relating to Spider-Man before that you should absolutely check out, from the reviews, both short and full, multiple versions of unboxings. You can see me whip out my 19 inches. There's player 2 plays. There's stuff for Alan Wake. There's a heap of stuff. So people should go and check all of that out as soon as they possibly can. All the written reviews on the website, go check all that stuff out. Heaps of content that a whole range of us have been putting out. There's still some stuff dripping out from PAX as well. Mostly Steven and his board game shit. They can fuck off, but anyway.
Come on. It's called board games, all right? No need to throw shit in there.
It's not what we're here for. Otherwise, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/player2, player2au. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil, and From Software making a Deadpool game is a brilliant idea.
We'll bring that one back, yeah. Paul Jans Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next week, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you later.